Hello, welcome to SV Union High School and Junior College. Today we are going to see about the virtual functions. So, what is the virtual functions? Virtual functions belong to the branch of runtime polymorphism in C++. So, we know that polymorphism is also one of the most important concept. So, polymorphism is of two types as shown in a diagram. First, compile time or early binding polymorphism, and second, runtime or late binding polymorphism. So under the compile time it comes two types, that is the function overloading and second operator overloading, and under the runtime the virtual functions or function overriding comes. So we'll see in details. Polymorphism is classified in two branches, compile time polymorphism or early binding or static binding, and second, runtime polymorphism or late binding or dynamic binding. Now we see what is binding. For every function call, compiler binds or links the call to one of function definition. This linking can happen at two different times. First, at the time of compilation program, or second, at runtime. Means what happens is, who does it? The compiler bind or link to whom? That particular function. So whatever the function we define in a program, and when the function call happens is, that time the compiler binds it. It is called as a binding. Now we will see what is a compile time polymorphism. Function overloading is an example of compile time polymorphism. So we have seen what is a function overloading. What we do in function overloading, the function having the same name with different signature or return type, it is called as a function overloading. We have seen the many program. This decision of binding among several functions is taken by considering formal arguments of the function, their data type and their sequence. Okay, so it comes under the compile time polymorphism. Now see this program of compile time polymorphism. Void my function and parameters are int I. The definition of my function, we are printing just cout and int is passed. Then second function void my function char c, and here in the body of that function we are printing cout, a char is passed. Okay, now see in the main function my function 10 and my function x. So for the first function, that is a my function int I passed, that is its call to that function where int I is passed, and second function my function x. So it call that function my function where char c is passed. So see here it is a function overloading as the name of the function is same but the parameters are different. So output an int is passed and a char is passed. So this comes under the compile time polymorphism. Now we see what is a runtime polymorphism. In a late binding, call to a function is resolved at runtime. The compiler determines the type of object at execution time and then binds the function call to a function definition. So what happens is here in a late binding, here the calling of that particular function takes place at the time of the execution of the program. Means when the program is under the execution, that time this polymorphism takes place, and that time the function call takes place, or that particular function calling that the definition of the function. Late binding is also called as a dynamic binding or runtime binding. Virtual functions are example of late binding in C++. So what is the example? Virtual function, that is the example of runtime polymorphism. Runtime polymorphism is achieved using the pointers. So to perform that runtime polymorphism, we have to use the pointers. Pointers behavior in polymorphism. So we'll see what is the actually role of pointers in polymorphism or how they performs. A base class pointers variable can hold the address of derived class object, but it can access only members of base class. So what happens is, suppose there is a one variable which is in a base class, it holds the address of the derived class object. So what is the object of the derived class? Its address is held by the pointer variable which is in a base class, but it can access only the member of the base class. So whatever the members are there in a base class, that only accessible by this variable. Now see in example, class base. Under this class, public void show. In show from base class. Okay, this is about the base class. Then class derived public base. So here we define the class derived, which is derived from the public base class. Here public void show, and here we are printing show from derived class. So this is about the derived class. Then in main function, int main, base pointer ptr, that is here we create the object of the base class. Then derived ob, here second object we create of the second class derived. Okay, then ptr is equals to and ob. So here we are storing the address of ob to the ptr, which is the variable of the base class, and then ptr points to show. So see the output, show from the base class. So as the concept here, we create the object of the derived class and variable of the base class, and in that variable of the base class, that is the pointer, we are storing the address of the derived class, and when that variable points to a function, it only display the output from the base class. Now see, you can see that even the pointer holds the address of the derived class object. It has called the base version of the show method, as we have seen in output. Okay, the problem is even a base class pointer holds the address of derived type of object. It can access only members of the base class because the base pointer variable does not have any idea about the structure of the derived class. Okay, so why it only show the answer from the base class? Because it don't have an idea of the derived class. A base class cannot have any idea about what derived class has added to it. So in this way, the pointers work in a polymorphism. Now we'll see about the virtual. Okay, so using virtual keyword. Now see in an example, class base, under the public section, virtual void show, and we are printing cout show from base. Okay, so this function we defined under the base class. This is about the base class. Then second class, derived class, which is derived from the public base class. So class derived public base. Under this function, a class public void show. Show function is defined where we are printing show from derived. So this is about the derived class. Now see in a main function, here we create the pointer variable of the base class, pointer ptr, and object we create for the derived class, ob object. Now ptr is equals to ampersand ob. Here we are storing the address of the object of derived class in a ptr, and ptr points to show. Okay, now see the output, show from derived class. So here it will show the answer that is from the derived class. It is because we make a function virtual which is from the base class. So now we'll see exactly what the use of the virtual keyword. Using virtual keyword with base class version of show function, late binding takes place and derived version of the function will be called, because base pointer points and derived type of object. So here late binding takes place. Here we use the virtual keyword to the base class version, means whatever the function we define in a base class, that show function, before that show function we use the virtual. So that function becomes the virtual. Okay, we know that in runtime polymorphism, the call to a function is resolved at runtime depending upon the type of object. So what happens is in a runtime polymorphism, the call to a function is resolved when that particular function is called, or it takes place when the runtime, depending upon whatever the type of object. Now we'll see how virtual function works. Base class pointer can point to derived class object. Okay, so base class pointer we created, and that pointer is pointing to the derived class object, that is %ob. Okay, in this case, using base class pointer, if we call some function which is in both classes, then the base class function is invoked. Normally what happens is, okay, if by using that pointer we call the function, then always that function call which is from the base class, the function having the same name which is in a base class as well as from the derived class, and we point the function, if we point the function to the derived class, but only that function will call from the base class. But if we want to invoke derived class function using base class pointer, it can be achieved by defining the function as virtual in base class. This is how virtual function support runtime polymorphism. Okay, so if two functions are same in a base class and the derived class, and if you want to access the function from the derived class, but normally what it does, it access the function from the base class only. But to solve this problem, we have to use the virtual, and if we make the function which is in a base class as a virtual, that time we can access the function from the derived class. So in this way the virtual keyword works, or the virtual function works. Virtual functions. A virtual function is a member function that is declared as virtual within a base class and redefined by a derived class. So whatever the function we make as a virtual, that should be always in a base class, but that function will be redefined by the derived class. To create virtual function, precede the base version of functions declaration with the keyword virtual. So which function you want to declare as a virtual, that should be preceded with the keyword virtual. When a class containing virtual function is inherited, the derived class can redefine the virtual function to suit its own unique needs. Okay, so in derived class also you have to define. The method name and type signature should be same for both base and the derived version of a function. As we know that the function should be there in a base class also and the derived class also, but signature and name should be same in both classes. Now we'll see using the virtual keyword. Class circle is there. In class circle, under protected access specifier, we declare the float radius. Then under the public, we declare the circle, that is, it is a constructor where we pass float r, that is a parameterized constructor. Then in that function constructor, radius is equals to r. Then virtual float area. See here we declare the one function area having the return type float, but as it precedes with the virtual keyword, then it becomes the virtual function. Then we define that function float a, then a is equals to 3.14 into radius and return a. So here we are calculating the area of circle and returning this. Okay, so this is about the class circle. Now see the second class cylinder, which is derived from the public circle. Then in this class private float height, declaration of the variable under the private section. Then public cylinder float r comma float h. Okay, so here we declare constructor, that is a parameterized constructor. Then height is equals to h. Okay, now see float area, overriding area method. Float a is equals to 2.2 into 3.14 into radius plus 2 into 3.40 into radius into height and returning a. So calculating the area of cylinder. Now see the function from the base class, that is a circle class having the area, but that we are having the virtual function, but the same function we are defining in a class cylinder float a. So return type should be same, and in base class there is, we are not passing any parameters, so here also we are not passing parameters. So overriding the area method, name and the signature of the function should be same in both classes. So here we write the program for using the virtual keyword. Now see, in main function, int main, here we create the pointer of the circle, that is the base class. Then circle ob8, create the object of the circle, and cylinder cylob84, that is about the cylinder. Then ptr is equals to ampersand circle ob. So here we are passing the address of object of the derived class in a pointer variable. Then we are printing cout and l, area of circle, ptr area. So calling the pointing function area. Then ptr is equals to ampersand cylob, then and area of cylinder, ptr area. Then return 0. So here it will display area of circle 200.96 and area of cylinder 602.88. So by using this, when we pass the object to the pointer variable of particular class, and through that pointer variable we access the function, then it will display the area of circle and area of cylinder. So this is how to use the virtual function in a program when we are deriving the class. Now we see there are some characteristics or rules of virtual function. So first, the virtual function must be member of some class. Whatever the function we are going to define as a virtual, it should be the member of some class. Second, they cannot be static members. So whatever that members are there, that should not be static. Object pointers can access them. As we have seen, the object pointers are going to access them. Fourth, a virtual function in the base class must be defined even though it may not be used. Okay, so in a base class you have to compulsory define that function if you are not using that function in a program. Prototype declaration for the virtual function in the base and the derived class must be same. As I told, name and signature of function in a both class should be same. Since if they are different, it will not be virtual function, but compiler will treat it as a function overloading. Okay, if they are not same, then it will not treat as a virtual function. It will treat it as a by compiler as a function overloading. Sixth, virtual constructor are not possible, but virtual destructors are possible. Okay, they can be friend of other class. Virtual function can be friend of other class. You cannot use a pointer to a derived class to access base class object. Okay, we are not going to use the pointer for the derived. It is for the base. Then next rule, base class pointer can be incremented or decremented only relative to its base type, and it cannot point to next object of the derived class. Next, if virtual function is not defined in derived one, function of the base class is called. Okay, then empty virtual function defined in the base class is called as a pure virtual function. A class declared to have pure virtual function could not be instantiated. That means object of that class cannot be created. Such a class is called as an abstract base class. Okay, and the virtual function support runtime polymorphism, that is runtime type and identification. So these are the some rules when you are going to write the virtual function. You have to keep in mind, follow this, and then you have to write the virtual function. So this is about the virtual function, when and how to use the virtual function. Thank you.